Party's podcast, WATP.
This is an interesting little clip from the Opie and Anthony show. They had Patrice O'Neill on a Monday morning, and No Show and No Gain sent this into me. This is Opie talking about what it's like to not have a job and to be out of work. Kind of interesting, based on what we know now.
Especially on a Monday.
Morning.
Mondays, yes. It's overrated to talk about Mondays, but they just suck.
Do they? I find Mondays to kind of blend in with Thursdays.
Really?
I don't have a job.
That's true,
I sleep
guess.
till fucking 1, and then I have to make up shit to do.
Fucking good, though.
No, that's it. I'm telling you. And I work hard to be lazy, motherfucker.
Fucking Patrice nailed it. When we were off the air for 2 years, you get up and make up shit to do.
I make it up.
It's either that or go crazy.
My sleep pattern got all fucked up.
People think...
Just pause it real quick. You have to wake up and make up stuff to do or else you go crazy. So I'm going to walk around Manhattan and film people. And I'm going to go to Gebhard's on Thursday and talk to Matt and film it. And make up stuff to do.
People think it would be cool not to work. It's cool for the first... How long was it cool?
Year and a half, year, 8 months.
I don't even know if you can make a year.
No.
I don't even know if you can make a year.
Yeah, after about 3 months.
You're rolling your eyes, but I'm telling you, we weren't allowed to do. We weren't allowed to do anything for 2 years, 3 months.
That's just ego. Now you want to take 2 years off, as long as you can have the option of work.
Oh,
it's all
great.
mental.
I don't know, man. The first
2 years off.
I know what it's like to be a slave. That's all. White people don't function well when somebody owns you.
the first 3 or 4 months, I think, were good.
Yeah.
And then that first winter hits, and you're like, "Holy shit! Not only do I have nothing to do, it's winter." You know,
Opie has had 7 winters since his last gig. So that tells you where he's at, his state of mind is at.
Yeah, it shows.
Isn't that very telling? Because they got fired, and under contract, they couldn't go work somewhere else for over 2 years. And they talk about how they didn't know what to do with themselves. But that was, obviously they want to be on the radio talking to people. Now Opie's got nothing to do and all day to do it. But good news, the big announcement has been made. He's been teasing for months. He's got a new podcast deal. And it came out this week. Here's a tweet from the Opster. Yes, I have joined at iHeart Radio. Here's last night's episode of Opie Radio Podcast live from at Gebhard's NYC. There's a link to his Spreaker.com player or wherever you get your podcast. And if you go into this...
Wouldn't you think that it would be a link to an iHeart Radio?
Wouldn't you think that? Because look at this. This is his little player here for Spreaker.
Beer and bloops.
So I asked another person who's employed at iHeart Radio, or iHeart Media, whatever it is now. I asked another person who's employed there, what's up with this? His name is Eric Nagel. And Eric Nagel says, no one in the New York office knew about it when I asked. If he signed a deal with Premiere, iHeart's syndication division, and AdSales network, he wouldn't be allowed to put his show on many other platforms because they want exclusivity. iHeart would distribute it to all the other platforms with their ads included. Either a salesperson was the one who reached out and did a rev share deal at best. I've seen deals they made with influencers and TikTokers who had thousands to millions of followers only get rev share deals, not exclusivity. Plus, iHeart would have promoted the announcement if it was anything. You can't find iHeart touting this anywhere. iHeart didn't put out even a tweet to be like, by the way, Opie's on iHeart now. So that's kind of odd.
So he's just making this up.
No, I think he is on. I get emails from iHeart. I swear to God, 2 or 3 times a year, I get an email from a person who says, we love your podcast. We'd love to talk to you about iHeart Media. And I ignore it. It's like iHeart Media. What are they going to do for me? They're a radio network. They're clawing their way into, and also the iHeart website, no offense to E-Rock, the iHeart website is so obnoxious to use. Anytime I'm looking for a podcast and I want to review and they're on iHeart, I'm like, hopefully I can find them somewhere else. I don't want to use this app. Eric goes on to say, also, he posted a link to his catalog using outdated software that iHeartRadio bought like a decade ago, but never used. Spreaker might as well be a shit platform like Deezer that exists, but no one uses because the interface is so terrible.
It's like a SoundCloud musician. Yeah.
Right. And that's what Opie is using to promote this. Echo Pineapple's the first comment is, why didn't they tweet this out from their channel?
Good question.
Very good question, Echo Pineapple.
We're trying to keep it
mystery.
on the DL. We don't want to get too many subscribers all at once because, you know, it might crash the system.
That's true. Yeah. It's an older, outdated platform. Can't have too many people coming in. All right. So we've been following Opie lately. He hasn't been doing a lot of streaming because his kids are so busy at school with Pizza Day.
Yeah.
So he's just too busy to be streaming. And he was out in the Hamptons, and he said, we're getting the place cleaned up. We're getting ready. In 10 short days, this is where I'll be for the whole summer. It's Hamptons Beach House. But first, he's back in New York City, Friday night, live at Gebhard's.
Whoa, Black Betty, ram-a-lam, whoa, Black Betty, ram-a-lam.
I love that song. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our live
love that
stream.
song.
We
You
are
should
live at
not do that.
Gebhard's.
Why does he feel the need to start so awkwardly every time?
He's been doing it since he was 18.
I know he's
man?
experimenting with new ways to broadcast, apparently, where it's just screaming and singing in unison and explaining that you like the song Black Betty.
Who doesn't?
Exactly. Black Betty is a hit.
Yeah.
It's great.
We
Everyone
don't need
loves
to
that
sing
song.
it.
Nope. Never needs to be sung by Opie, ever. So Opie likes to pronounce
Words incorrectly?
yes,
Yeah.
correct. And so, he never pronounces Gebhard's correctly. And Matt's just like, can you just tell people what this place actually is in case they're in New York and they want to stop by? And so they have a conversation about that.
I got a big touch of being on the spectrum.
Well, man, if you switch the B and the H, then it's gay bars.
Gay bars. You know what? That could get your numbers up.
You could.
Let's change the sign.
Let's try.
You need a
Try anything once for money.
you need a rainbow this shit up is what you need to do.
Is he in like a pod outside the place?
They do have like a little front area. There's some pinball machines over to their left. And it's just a little area where people can hang out, and
So
the
they're
windows
trying
open.
to keep him as far away from the customers, the paying customers, as possible.
Right in the when it's not nice outside, they put him in the basement,
Yeah.
which is smart.
Also,
But-
inside this little glass box, perfect acoustics for recording audio that's supposed to go out.
They're nailing it. Yeah, it's exactly what you want to hear on a iHeart Radio podcast. This is the quality you'd expect from something like that. So Matt says, after they debate what the name of the place is, if you switch the B and the H, it'd be gay bars. Just is not true. Gebhard's? It'd be Gebhard's. Anyway, but they all have a big laugh at that. Okay, Opie's talking about, so Matt was in a motorcycle accident earlier this day, cut his finger, not a big deal, whatever. Opie talks about his bike accident that he had back in the day. And he talks about how a door opened from a cab and opened right into him, and he slammed on his brakes and tumbled over onto his head. And it's very interesting and very telling. We've been saying this for a while, that Opie treats different people differently when he's on the streets of New York. And if there's people he sees as less than him, especially tourists, he doesn't give a fuck. And he admits that here.
I got
Pebbles rolling down.
So I went flying, and then I got up red hot.
Uh-huh.
And it also helped the cause that I could take the person. It was some lady from fucking
Did you punch
Columbus,
your arms off?
Ohio. And I screamed at her, and then I screamed at the cabbie.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got up, I was mad, and I realized that this woman couldn't fight back, so I screamed at her face.
Yeah. It
I
gets
could
up and
take
it's
her.
like a big dude. He's
Right.
just like,
I could
sorry, bro.
take her.
Like, we cool.
What if a big dude was from Columbus, Ohio?
Right.
Yeah.
I know that's another thing too. It's so telling. Like Opie just thinks he's an elitist. He's very elite. He's better than them. You couldn't even live this high up in the sky where you're from, buddy. Just so you know. Like, all right, man, we get it. You're Upper West Side Manhattanite. Good for you. So they start talking about these altercations that you get in when you live in New York City.
Didn't you have another motorcycle accident?
No. Altercation? Yes.
Altercation.
Yeah. It wasn't an accident because we didn't touch.
Do people understand, like, telling these stories, you might think that we're trying to be cool.
No, never would have thought that in my entire life.
Not even close, but I am glad that you did that, Opie, because now I have this as an ISO.
We're trying to be cool.
That's got to go in the closing credits, I think, for this show.
Yeah,
that's a fun one.
We're trying to be cool.
If I didn't know anything about Opie, and I watched this, I would think that he was playing a character of the most annoying man in New York.
Right.
And like a Myron Noodleman completely divorced from reality loser that you're supposed to then watch and be like, wow, what a pathetic loser.
He has become a caricature of himself for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't think he can turn it off. I don't think if like someone walked into Gebhard's while he's doing the show and slapped him and went, Opie, snap out of it. He'd be like, oh, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? Like the reality.
Is that an option?
He's like
I'm in.
Batman. The more he, the mask has become the man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mel says Harry the Hater. Yeah, it's like his Harry the Hater character has just come to life now. He can't help himself.
He took a potion many years ago. He's like switching back and forth, but now he's locked in as Mr. Hyde.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that movie that was up for the Oscar where The Substance?
Yeah.
I think it was called. It's like Opie's not going back to normal Opie. He's letting normal Opie die in the corner of the house. Like, no, this is just crazy Opie now. That's all we're doing.
And his tits look nice.
His tits are better. So this is him talking about living in New York. Of course, you're going to get into confrontations.
Living in New York, you have a confrontation. Is it not true that you have a confrontation every single day?
Opie, you don't mind your own fucking business. This is well documented. Opie's going, the crazy thing about New York is you get into confrontations with people.
You're a loud, stupid jackass.
Right.
Yeah.
How could you not?
I have spent days and days and days in New York City. I get to get into a confrontation with someone. I just gotta mind my own business and do my thing.
Yes. 90% of the people you see when he's unleashed are minding their own business.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they want him to be too. They would much prefer that. But I love that Opie turns that into, he just can't help but get into confrontations,
Yeah, when you're a huge asshole.
Yeah, you yell at tourists who are getting in your line of sight when you're trying to record something. And then the next thing you know, like someone's mad at you. It's so weird how that works.
Yeah.
Also, if he is having confrontations, put him on your stream. I don't see any interesting altercations, confrontations, anything going on Opie's stream. He's like, this happens every day. Record it next time.
We need the government to mandate Opie wear a body cam everywhere he goes.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many shock jocks are this thin-skinned?
All of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, actually, that comes with the territory for some reason. But remember, Opie hates New York City. Mm-hmm. He fucking despises being there.
There's also a bizarre understanding in New York that, you can
say whatever you want, not get punched in the mouth.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a guarantee, obviously.
I think people should get punched in the mouth more.
But everyone's on the same page, understanding that this city is a fucking nightmare and it just brings you down. So everyone has this weird understanding. We're gonna have some confrontations, but we're not gonna take it too far.
Matt does not agree. You see Matt's response is like, yeah, if you say so. Opie's like, we have a unwritten rule that everyone here is miserable all the time. It's just like, then what are you doing there?
I don't know.
Why are you there?
Do you think Opie's been punched in the mouth?
It's an open window there. I wish someone would. Right on cue. That'd be great.
I don't think he's been punched in the mouth, Dad.
I do.
I think he needs to be.
I don't think that he would talk about it on stream because that would be a story where he's the loser.
Oh.
He picked someone, I don't know how tall he is, 6 feet tall. He picked someone who's 5'10", but knows how to handle themselves and acted like a jackass, and they knocked him on his ass real quick. And that story is never going on the internet because that makes him a loser versus the story of him shouting at some old woman from Columbus, Ohio. I'm the hero here. I'm the strong, important man.
Yes.
And then, of course, there's probably dozens of stories where he runs into some giant 6'5" muscular dude. And he's just like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then runs away with his tail between his legs.
or picks on some meek woman, and then it turns out she has a boyfriend. And he's like, "Oh shit!" and he has to start running for it. But this is an old cliche. But you know the saying, "You're not in traffic, you are traffic."
Yeah.
Opie complaining about living in New York City, he's part of the problem. And I would say that he's probably pulling his weight more than others.
Yeah.
You know?
When it comes to being a problem.
Yeah, like he is the problem in New York, where it's just like it's over congested and people are miserable and they're annoying and they're trying to ruin your day. And
People are fucking with you.
people are fucking with you. They're not giving money to the buskers. They're not giving money to the people that they're interacting with who are on the street to get money. Opie is that guy. He's the problem.
He'll fist bump you, but
Only if it's inconvenient for them.
Yeah.
If they have to get out of their costume or stop playing guitar, then you get a fist bump from the Opester. So then they bring on this guy, Littlefoot. Littlefoot adds nothing to the show. Littlefoot couldn't have less of a personality. And he's talking about how he just went up to Boston to see the orchestra performed some Grateful Dead concert where they played all these Dead songs in the beautiful theater there that the symphony plays in. And so he's talking about how it's got pretty crazy. People are in there smoking joints.
There were people in Symphony Hall smoking joints. Like that took balls. There were people smoking joints in Symphony Hall. I did other edibles.
You did some. We call them gummies. You're allowed to say gummies.
There's a French horn in here.
Then you don't know what kind of gummy it is.
Opie just censored him because he said edibles. So another thing, Tab, if you haven't been paying attention.
I assumed he was talking about one of those edible arrangements where they make fruits into flowers.
Dude, I was going to say edibles also is innocuous. I took some edibles could mean anything, just like gummies. Mm-hmm. I don't think it helps anything, but Opie's been auditioning for radio for years now. He doesn't allow people to swear, and he tells them if they do say something that's out of line or a little bit too taboo, he'll be like, we're not doing that. You don't even talk about sex or anything like that on the show.
It's like that episode of Seinfeld where Kramer gets the Merv Griffin set in his apartment. And he's talking to Jerry, and it's like, you leave that blue stuff off of my set, Mr.
Right.
As if he's actually on television.
Right. This is how Opie's living his life, as if he's actively auditioning to be on the radio. The guy goes, well, I didn't smoke a joint in the place. I had an edible. It's like, whoa. We say gummy on here. Yeah. Good thing we're on a 7-second delay.
He's already telling a boring story, and Opie made it more boring.
Some AM talk radio producer could be hearing this and think, you know who needs a comeback?
Right.
Opie
That's what he's
Hughes.
hoping.
Yeah.
That is what he's hoping. But for some reason, he has the same sense of humor as Aaron Imholt on Steel Toe.
Oh, it was I went up there.
Did you drive?
I drove. My buddy has an electric VW bus, so we took that up there. It was actually pretty cool.
An electric VW bus is gay?
Oh, is that what he said? I thought he was just moaning to the moon.
Someone, because there's other buddies who are like behind the camera watching, and they yell stuff out because they want to be on the show. So the guy goes, "Yeah, we took my."
Want to be on this show?
It's crazy, dude. And they're all in their 50s and 60s, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we're hanging out with Greg Opie Hughes. This is amazing. We can be on his live stream."
7 summers of winter, Greg Opie Hughes. Yes. Top of his game.
Someone behind the camera, after he said electric VW bus, yells out "gay." It's like, that sounds pretty cool to me. I would take that to a Grateful Dead concert. It's fine. Matt, right here, the owner of Gebhard's, literally has a Chip Chipperson joke, although I don't think he's trying for the Chip Chipperson angle of it.
So I cut my teeth, like really started taking off.
ones?
He even said it like Chip. You cut your teeth? Which ones? Fucking holy shit, Matt. Home run. Home run, Gebhard's home run. So then we get into Fenway Park talk, because this guy went to a baseball game when he was up in Boston. And Opie used to live in Boston. He was on WAAF, very famously with Anthony. That's where the Opie and Anthony show started, really. And so Opie likes to show off his knowledge of Boston because he knows all this stuff, and he wants to have a fun conversation with this guy.
Did they get rid of the poles finally?
No.
Or at least the seats behind the poles?
Yeah, you get those $20 obstructed view tickets, and all you have to do is this.
Right.
There was the foul pole.
No, I was not.
No,
I was.
no.
I was.
They
in
got
front of them.
they got poles in the regular fucking area too,
Poles everywhere?
and they sell that seat
That's the garden.
where if you're what?
That's the old garden you're thinking of.
They got some of those in Fenway, don't they?
I don't understand what's going on.
Anyway,
Did you ever sit in the red seat?
Did you hear Mac? I don't understand what's going on. Because the guy's, Littlefoot's trying to be polite. He's like, you're thinking of the old garden. Right. They didn't have obstructive views at Fenway Park. Nobody's going, what? And then Opie transitions into another story.
You ever sit in the red seat? You know the red seat?
There's one.
I think it's a. Oh wow! I just got myself in there because I don't know the full story.
Do tell.
come on, Rollins.
How red is this?
I think it was a famous fucking hit by Ted Williams. They hit one of the seats and they colored it orange. And if you get to sit the orange seat, it's a pretty special day for you.
Red seat.
I know. First, it was a red seat.
No fact checking.
I love panicky Opie when people aren't going along with them. And now has to try to bring this thing to the finish line. It's like, well, did you sit in the red seat? Like, we don't know what you're talking about. It's like, oh, shit. I don't think I know what I'm talking about either.
I'm doing it again. Stupid.
Yeah. I know he immediately changes the facts. Well, it's orange, and I guess, it was hit it, a baseball hit it or something. It's a cool spot to
Ted
sit.
Williams?
So it actually is. There is one seat painted red at Fenway where Ted Williams hit his longest home run over 500 feet. It landed in this seat, and it is painted red. So Opie actually did know something, but he lost confidence immediately. When they're like, we don't know. He's like, oh, fuck. Maybe I don't know either.
Wow, we could trick him into anything.
Yes. Here's another example of Opie not knowing stuff.
Isn't this motorcycle week? Aren't you supposed to be in North Dakota?
No, it's not. No, that does none of that made sense.
Why? Where is it?
It's not called Motorcycle Week, and
Where's
it's
it?
South Dakota.
Bike Week, South Dakota.
Daytona. I'm screwing it up. Sturgis is in South Dakota, and that's in August. And I'm still working on my wife.
Opie didn't know the time, the name, or the location. Good friend Opie is always talking to Matt about what he's up to.
You would think just being like alive in the culture, you would know that it's called Sturgis and it's in the Dakotas. Maybe not which one.
Right. Yeah. You could have just been like Dakota.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Not doing the coin flip on that one. I have one more clip on here because Opie brings up something and everyone shits on his point. Every single person shits on his point.
I'm the only person in America that never saw White Lotus.
I have never
seen
it.
I've never seen it.
that. Oh, Matt, give me a favor. Oh, what can you whittle and Dewey?
I've never seen White Lotus.
Did you hear about Matt's huge motorcycle accident?
He goes, I'm the only guy in America that's never seen White Lotus. And every single guy goes, I've never seen it. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Tad just goes, I've never seen it.
Fact checking.
I just thought that was great. Like, it would have been nice if those guys had just not even pipe up. Just be like, oh, you haven't seen that? Okay.
No, on any show except
even
this
better.
one.
It's even better for them to just like shut him down for such a stupid, innocuous, who gives a fuck point. Oh, I never. Is it a TV show? Is it a movie? Who fucking cares?
Yeah. To the point where he can't talk anymore.
You fucked up your motorcycle, you fucking loser, at Bike Week out there in Montana in the middle of May. You useless fuck.
Who are these podcasts?